Hello, I'm doing I did this video already where I listed my top 14 favorite television couples of all time. And then realized I forgot a very important couple. I don't even know how that happened, but I did. I'm all wearing my Lucy and Mickey t-shirt. But anyway, I forgot a couple. And I don't know how I forgot. I really don't. But I had finished filming. I was in the middle of editing the video, and then it hit me really hard. I forgot this couple. So I have redoing it. I'm redoing it. I'm also watching Harold and Maude after Valentine's Day movie because Bud Court passed away, like I mentioned. I forget how couple videos ago. I don't remember, but Bud Court passed away the very same day as James Van Der Beek, which is crazy. But so I wanted to watch Harold and Maude in his memory, and also for Ruth Gordon's memory, because I love her very much. But anyway, I'm gonna go from 14 to 1. So 14, Joey and Rachel. I said a lot about all these, so I don't know how much I'm gonna remember what I said, but basically, for Joey and Rachel, I felt like he was a safe space for her. She was able to relax with him. I feel like with Ross, she was always stressed out or worried that she said the wrong thing or did the wrong thing, because he could be a lot. Ross was annoying. So I feel like with Joey, she was a lot more comfortable being herself, and he made her safe. Like I said, I feel safe, and I love how he always let her know that he would always gonna be there for her. Like, he was always so sweet to her, always so wanting to listen to her, be there for her, and I just think he was a really good listener to her, and they complemented each other very, very well. So I'm always gonna have a soft spot for them. I don't like Ross and Rachel at all. So, but yeah, Joey and Rachel, yes. Okay. 13 is David and Patrick from Schitt's Creek. Can't believe Kathleen O'Hara is no longer with us, and that makes me so sad. But David and Patrick, they're so sweet. They're so good together. Again, all these people have chemistry. That's why they're on this list, because their chemistry was so good that it made me love them as a couple. But they are, again, each other's safe spaces. They are patient with each other. They're willing to help each other out or let them figure things out on their own, but know that they're they're in each other's corners. Their engagement made me emotional. Their wedding made me emotional. They're such a beautiful couple. Schitt's Creek is such a wonderful show. If you haven't seen Schitt's Creek, you need to get on it. It's great. But their chemistry is beautiful, and I love their journey so much. 12 is David and Lane from Gilmore Girls. I will never forgive the OC for Adam Brody having to leave Gilmore Girls. And I hate that the OC was on at the same time, because if it hadn't been, Dave and Lane would have gotten married. That was the plan. They were going to get married. And I hate it. I hate that their journey got cut short. I love Seth and Summer on the OC. I will say that. The OC as a whole, I wasn't in love with it, but I loved Summer and Seth, and I know people say they're toxic relationship, but I love them. Okay, I love them. I don't care. Their chemistry was real because Adam and Rachel were dating. I don't say that about the OC or that, but just wanted to say that. But anyway, Dave and Lane. Dave Lane has a strict religious mother, and she doesn't let Lane date boys without meeting them, and she doesn't let her date boys who are not Korean, basically. And he's not Korean. So for a while they're sneaking around, and Lane is always apologizing to him for how hard it is to see her, and he doesn't care. He's very I want to see you. I don't care what I have to do to see you. And He is very understanding and accommodating, and he helps her with her lies to her mother. Like, their communication is wonderful and it's so strong, and I love it. And Lane was still at a prom with him, and her mom quotes something. Well, he comes to ask Lane to prom, and her mom like quotes something to him. I think it's in the Bible. So he goes home and he reads the Bible back front to back. Like he spent all night trying to figure out what that meant. And at the end of the day, it was like a Shakespeare quote. But Mrs. Kim was so impressed that she said that they're gonna go to prom together, and we don't get to see it because Adam got the OC. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see that all happen. But they're a beautiful couple. They really are. 11 is Phoebe and Mike. This is a couple that wasn't supposed to be a thing at all. It was the how Phoebe and Mike meet is a lie, basically, because Phoebe and Joey, or Phoebe wants to have like a blind date, have them set them blind dates up for each other. And so she has a friend that she wants to set Joey up with, and then Joey says that he has a friend named Mike, which he does not. But you think Phoebe would know that because they only really see each other. Anyway, so he says he has a friend named Mike, and he goes into Central Park and he yells Mike, and then Paul Rudd appears and he's Mike, and this is before Paul Rudd was who he is now. Like, when people saw him on Friends, no, it wasn't like excited. There weren't like cheers and screams in the audience because like he wasn't such a big deal yet, you know. So and so yeah, he plays Mike, and he wasn't supposed to be on there very long, but yet he ended up staying and marrying Phoebe. And I do love Phoebe and David as well. And if Mike wasn't in the picture, it would have been Phoebe and David. That was the goal, to get them together in the end. But I do love Phoebe and Mike, and I feel they complemented each other really well. And I love that Mike accepts Phoebe's, like, no, she hasn't. Phoebe has no flaws. She's perfect, but her quirks. He accepts all of her quirks and how different she is, and Phoebe, my favorite female character of all time. She's like my inspiration for life and everything. So her wedding was my favorite episode of the whole show, and it makes I don't used to be emotional, doesn't so much now, but I used to, because I was like, she deserves this. She's her childhood was awful. Like, she deserves a happy ending, and I love that it was with Mike. 10 is Jesse and Becky from Full House. They were my first ship before I even knew what shipping was. But John Stamos and Lori Loughlin had amazing chemistry, and they had actually dated a little bit before Full House started. And Becky as well, the same with Becky, like with Mike. Becky was not supposed to be on the show. She wasn't supposed to be ever be a main character. She was only supposed to be in like a couple episodes, and then she was supposed to go. But the chemistry between her and Lori and John was so good that they had them date, and then they got married and they had kids. And watching Full House, if you watch Full House, like, not that much, I would say, like maybe 3 times, but every time we watch it, I feel the same way that I felt when I first watched the relationship start. Like, I know how it ends, but even when they break up or they have a fight, I'm always like, no, you can't get back together. And I know that they do. So it's just like they do it so well. Even again, whenever you watch, I still have the same feelings that I had the first time I watched them get together. They love his John Stamos's cover of Forever by the Beach Boys. He sings to her, like, they're so good. 9, Nick and Jess from New Girl. I know people don't like their wedding, but I didn't really care, because as like long as they got married, I was okay with it, because that was a long time coming. But their chemistry Joy Chanel and Jack Johnson's chemistry. Oh my god, it like was there from day one. Like it was not a build up. It was there from day one. And even when they weren't together, they were together. If you know what I mean, because their chemistry was so like, oh, I don't. They never dated, which is crazy. But in real life, because it seemed like they did, because of how strong of a connection they had on the show. But he, I don't. He was a mess, but he was sweet and he was kind and he treated her incredibly well. Like, and she brought out the best version of him, and they just had like it was like dynamic chemistry. It was like off the charts chemistry. And again, I'm just so surprised that Zoe and Jake never dated. Like I am really shocked about that. I also love CC and Schmidt, but had 14 because it's Valentine's Day 14. Um, but no, I love them too. But Nick is just my favorite new girl couple. 8, Doug and Carol from ER, George Clooney and Juliana Margulies. Again, I'm gonna keep saying that the chemistry. Um, George Clooney left the show at season 5, and then Juliana left 6 or 7. I don't remember exactly because Carol has Doug's twins without him there, which is insane. And then she dates Luca for a little bit, and Juliana wasn't like didn't like that because it's weird. She had her they weren't even like they didn't really break up, so just, their her ex I guess maybe I guess at that point was ex boyfriend's kids, and then she immediately dates somebody else. And Juliana was like, oh, kind of weird. She didn't like that. And then and so then when she left the show, it was for Carol to be reunite with Doug in Seattle, and she does, and it's beautiful. And they I don't like couples that are like off and on so much, but they were, but I just always wanted them to get back together and find each other again. And they had like a classic love story, and it was beautiful. And in season 15, they're there for the finale, and they're still together and as strong as ever. And oh, classic. They're a classic TV couple. And I love them so much. 7 is Holly and Michael from The Office. I feel like Holly brought out the best in Michael. Like he calmed down a lot. He wasn't trying so hard to be liked all the time because he had her. I think she grounded him, but they were still weird together and had fun. But I feel like he's matured a lot with her, and um, yeah, great. Um, I'm gonna be controversial and say that I don't like Jim and Pam. I never have. I like Andy. Yeah, Andy and Aaron. I don't like Aaron, but I love her with Andy. I do, and I love Dwight and Angela because they just make sense. They're both intense and they're both extreme people, and they make sense. But my favorite Office couple is Holly and Michael. 6, Buffy and Spike. This is the couple I forgot. I cannot believe I forgot. Like, I cannot believe it because I am the number one. If they have no shippers, I'm dead, basically. Like, I love them so much. He's in that maybe one knows that one scene I won't talk about because it's upsetting. But before that and after that, yes, they were great. Again, Spike was not supposed to be a regular cast member, but then he had great chemistry with Buffy, so he stayed. And I'm glad because Spike is my favorite Buffy character, my favorite Angel character. And again, my favorite couple is Buffy and Spike. And they weren't really a couple, though. I will say that. They never dated. So I guess technically this isn't really a ship. It's a ship, but not a couple. Everyone else in this is a couple except for Joey and Rachel. They were for a little bit, but everyone else, I'm texting. No, and then there's another couple that didn't make it, but everybody else, they are together. No, Dave and Lane. So these couples have not made it. They not make it through, but everyone else did. But Buffy and Spike were never a couple. I guess I should. That's what I'm trying to say. They're never a couple. Everyone else here was a couple. Um, but Spike was just protective of her. They had great banter. Their back and forth was so good and memorable. The speech he gives Buffy, season 7, when he's telling her that she's a really like a remarkable woman, and he says that he loves her, and the whole speech is beautiful. And but James Marsden is a great actor, and I love him in this show, and I love his chemistry with Sarah Michelle Gellar, and again, I cannot believe I almost forgot about them. They're so special to me. So I'm really glad I came in my head and we came to my senses, because I would have been so sad if I finished this and I forgot them. So 5, April and Andy from Parks and Rec. I don't like Chris Pratt. I love Aubrey Plaza though, but their chemistry, chemistry. April and Andy, it's like April is this like dark, to her it's a dark figure. No, not really. She's like a black cat, and he's a golden retriever, and she's always a negative. She's a negative and everything, and he doesn't, and they come together, and it works. It works so well, because he's not trying to change her. She's not trying to change him. They accept each other. They love each other so much. Um, and they don't want to see each other lose themselves. So then it's really nice. It really is nice. But I will say April does kind of start to soften a little bit. Andy never gets to her level and at all. He never becomes more negative or anything like that. And I don't think April would have wanted him to, because she loved him for his positivity and everything. So I'm sure she's glad that he never uh, at all became anything like her. But they just balance each other out. And there's usually that one person in a relationship that's like, maybe we shouldn't do this. That wasn't them. Neither of them were that person where they would be like, we shouldn't do this. There were times where they would see that things were getting out of control, and they would talk to each other and be like, okay, maybe we should stop doing this. But it was never like one of them was better than the other one. Neither of them were more mature than the other one. April was a bit more mature than Andy, but it was never like, she was never like, oh, Andy, you shouldn't do that. It was an equal thing. And it was always an equal. Them going overboard, spending money. There would be both of them. It would, if one of them was doing something crazy, the other one was doing it too. And I guess I'm trying to say is they were partners in crime and best friends, and they grew up together, literally, and they're special. And like there were times where I'd forget that Chris and Aubrey were not really married, because they seemed like they were really married on the show. And I'm really glad that they got together. I'm really, really glad, because they weren't supposed to be, but I'm glad it worked out. For Lucy and Mickey, I have Lucy and Desi again, but same difference. But I love Lucy and Mickey. I love Lucy and Desi as a couple. But Lucy and Mickey are the only couple on here that are no longer with us. But the show I Love Lucy never really had like special episodes or do any like dramatic episodes. So it's kind of like, even like other sitcoms on here, they had like sweet moment, they had more real moment. all of Lucy didn't have those. But Lucy and Vicky, as well as Lucy and Desi, they were best friends, and they teased each other and they gave each other a hard time, and it was a safe environment for Lucy to make her mistakes, because he would yell, he would get upset, but at the end of the day, he supported her and he loved her and he accepted her, flaws and all. And they were sweet together, and yeah, that's all I'll say about that. Cause I don't have much else to say about them. Monica and Richard from Friends, my favorite couple on the show. Um, I like her better with Richard than with Chandler. I feel like Richard was a grown up. He acted like a grown up, and and Monica didn't have to work so hard with him because he had his life together. Chandler, I feel like he acted like a man child most of the time, and I don't like that. I feel like with Richard, she didn't have to try so hard in the relationship because he was an equal participant in it. Chandler, I feel like she had to like mother a little bit, like explain things to him like he was her child, and it was a lot. It was a lot of teaching moments, and I know some people piss me off because they're like, it's creepy because of the age difference. She was like 26 years old, which is young, yes, but she wasn't a child. She wasn't a teenager. It was fine. And again, she matched Richard in every way, like maturity wise and everything. And other people go so far as to say it was grooming. I don't think people need to know what that word means, because she was 26. He was her dad's friend, but when he saw her again as an adult, he didn't recognize her. So no, he did not grooming. Um, but they were so good, and their breakup is so sad and makes me so like. Whenever I watch it, their breakup, I get so emotional. Like him saying, like her saying, asking him, "What do we do now?" And he goes, "I guess we just keep dancing." I love that line. It was so sad. Like, oh. Um, Two, my second favorite is Mark and Elizabeth from ER. For a long time, they were my favorite couple. And then another couple took that spot. But Mark and Elizabeth, they went through a lot. They went through hell together. They had fun together. Again, they were each other's ride or die, like best friends. Like they went through a lot together. They grew together. They understood each other. They were just, I don't really know how to describe them in a way that I haven't described other couples, but they were just, again, they went through a lot together, and they were always so patient and understanding with each other and sensitive toward each other, and I just love them so much. And then my number one favorite, Joey and Pacey from Dawson's Creek. Um, I'm not gonna say that I don't like Dawson's Creek. I saw it. I liked like the first, I'd say, four seasons, and I love Castaways because that's a Joey and Pacey episode. No one else is in that episode. But the reason, and then also I don't like Dawson as a character, but James Van Der Beek dying, I'm not sad because I was fan of Dawson or the show. I'm sad because he was a good man, and he had six kids, and he has a good wife, and he made people happy, and he was very important to teen dramas because Dawson's Creek is a major teen drama, and he was the lead of it. And yeah, so it's just a shock that he's not here anymore because of the impact that he had on TV and the person that he was. But I don't like Dawson. I don't like Dawson's Creek. But anyway, Pacey and Joey, they're the only couple I've ever seen on TV that their scenes make me cry because of how sweet they are together and how great they were together. Like him saying that he remembers everything when they're dancing, and she's like talking to him about her mom. I forget exactly, it's been a while, but he's like that line. To show you know what I'm talking about. And the finale made me cry a lot, actually. Because Michelle Williams was an amazing actress and she was killing it and she was making me emotional. And her scenes with her grandmother and her scenes with Jack made me emotional. And then the scenes with Joey and Pacey made me emotional, especially when he tells Joey, just the art of being in love with you is enough for me. The simple act of being in love with you is enough for me. That line killed me. And it made me cry and it made me emotional. And then they ended up together in the end, and it was like, at the time it was a shock because they did the typical thing on teen shows where like the main guy ends up with the girl in the end, but Dawson Creek changed that a lot. They changed that um, plot device because Joey ends up with Pacey, their best friend, not with Dawson. And it was going to be Dawson and Joey in the end. I think they just did the Joey and Pacey thing because people like their chemistry. And I think they thought people will get it out of their system and then we can bake them up and then it can be Joey and Dawson in the end. But nobody wanted Joey and Dawson in the end. I'm sure there are people who did, but the majority of people wanted Pacey and Joey together. And people also call it Pacey's Crate because they like him more than Dawson. So, yeah. Again, there's just so many instances on the show where they made me cry, and it doesn't really it never happens. I don't get emotional watching couples on TV, but made me emotional, and that's why they're my number one favorite ship of all time. No other couple has come close to taking that spot, so maybe one day I'll make a different video. Maybe one day, a few years from now, they will be dethroned, but it hasn't happened yet. So that's it. That's it. That's it. I'm not filming this ever again. This is the last time I'm filming this. But if you have a favorite ship, please let me know down below. And that is all. Goodbye.